Hi guys, meteorologist Lindsey Slater here. A little space weather update for you and for us today. This is a look at what happened earlier this morning. You can see the time at the bottom is 4:46 Universal Time or Zulu time, which is what meteorologists use. So if we're talking 4:46 meteorologically speaking, that would be right around 10 p.m. on the 15th going into the 16th. So little flaring region right here popped up. This one ended up being an M class flare. We also have a lot of fast solar wind going on right now. So this is directly from SDO. Angstroms 131. I'm going to pop up Angstroms, 171, and we can watch this region over here. I believe that one was the one associated with the M-class flare. We have a couple of active regions over here, lots of arcades going on. Look at this. I mean, honestly, the sun is quite beautiful, being a big fusion reactor that is. Wouldn't be surprised to see something flaring off of 4375. I'm going to go back to Space Weather Live because this one has a really good way of showcasing sunspots. If you go to solar activity, sunspot regions, we can check out all the different regions that we're watching. And the one I was just pointing out was, I believe, 4375. So that's this guy here. But let's take a little trip over to 4374. This one definitely more complex. So as we go down, we can keep on watching. We can see the size of it has gone down a little bit. This is 4373. Here's 4374. That was the one I was looking at, is an increase in size. It's not that complex just yet. But then we also have 4375, kind of a little guy, and 4376, also kind of small. So nothing too exciting about these particular spots right now. The only one I thought was interesting was 4374. And this one, 4375, was flaring quite a bit. The probabilities of these areas flaring, I can go to Swipsy's page and look at the solar synoptic map. I'm just going to Google it. It's a lot easier. And you can see these regions don't have huge probabilities here. As you can see, they're pretty low. They're not really magnetically complex. We need to watch 4377. This one has a 25% chance of being a C-class flare, but we already saw some M-class flares out of an area over here. What's more interesting is this huge coronal hole. That is what we need to look at when we look. I believe it is the 211 angstrom. Let's take a little peek at 211. And you'll see it pop up. Boom. That looks like a backwards fish. Looks like a tail. I buried the lead here a little bit. The coronal hole is the story, not these flaring regions. Granted, we had a little M-class flare out of it. This coronal hole is causing some high-speed streams. So what is that? Well, if we look at the Enlil probabilities, so we have the 18th. So we have fast solar wind coming out of that coronal hole, and you can see it right here. So we'll likely see impacts from that solar wind in combination. There looks like there was a little CME that lifted off earlier over the weekend, but we have a lot of fast solar wind. That is incredible. So checking that out, we can see, I believe on here, it'll show me, yeah, my solar wind right now is 659 kilometers per second. Checking out the real-time solar wind, it's definitely elevated. You can see it up here. Our BZ was kind of flip-flopping a little bit back and forth into the southern region for a little while. So that could have been right here specifically. Oops, I took that way too far in. Let's go backwards. I'm going to go back to 3 days out. There we go. You can see that it did kind of flip-flop a little bit. So maybe we did get a little bit of auroras out of this, but this is a predominantly solar synoptic map that highlights a coronal hole, and that is something that I will continue to monitor. It is a positive coronal hole. It's transequatorial at this point, but high speed stream will be the only way we get anything out of this. I will keep you guys posted on that. There aren't any big flaring regions going on right now, but for now it is about this big coronal hole that's just transcending through the sun right now. I'll keep you guys posted. Otherwise, I will see you next week.